Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering healthcare to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time News. I am Harry McCullough. We're going to check in with Assumption Parish, where it was a busy week in Assumption Parish. And for that, we check in with Commander Lonnie Cavalier, the Public Information Officer for Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. How you doing, Lonnie? Good to see you, man.
Good, thanks. Thank y'all for having us.
Yeah, so we'll start with first an incident just happened earlier on Tuesday. And you want to tell us about that story?
Yes, this morning we dispatched 3 patrol units to an area near Belrose in reference to a reckless driver. Upon arrival, deputies made contact with a Sean M. Griffin, 32, of Plaquemine, and did a protective pat-down search of him and recovered methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. He had actually run his vehicle into the ditch. State police came onto the scene and did a field sobriety and actually brought him to a local hospital, at which time they drew court-ordered blood. Mr. Griffin was charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, DWI, speeding, and driving under a suspended driver's license. He remains incarcerated at this time, and no bond has been set.
All right. From that one, we go to a drug and gun law violation, and actually a man from Houma was arrested in Assumption Parish.
Yes, this actually occurred on Saturday. One of our patrol deputies stopped a vehicle for doing 68 miles an hour in a 55-mile zone. Deputies interviewed Devin Devon Clay, 33, of McKinley Street in Houma. While interviewing him, the deputy noted a strong smell of suspected marijuana emitting from the vehicle. Deputies did obtain consent to search the vehicle, and during that search, they recovered a firearm, suspected marijuana, and a single dose of unprescribed Adderall. Mr. Devin Devon Clay was arrested and booked into our facility on charge of possession of firearm by convicted felon, illegal carrying of weapons in the presence of controlled dangerous substances, possession of marijuana, possession of Adderall, speeding, and driving on roadway lane for traffic. Mr. Clay remains incarcerated with his bond set at
$55,000. Number 4, disturbing case of Sidney Clifton. Can you tell us a little more about that arrest?
Yes, Mr. Clifton originally was a longtime resident of Assumption Parish and has since moved to Sanamar, Louisiana, which is an Ascension Parish. On July 16th, our office was notified of a possible sexual battery involving a young juvenile in the Belrose area. Deputies responded and interviewed the parties that made the complaint, and there it was determined that there were 2 incidents that occurred. The first one, on July 16th, Mr. Sidney W. Clifton, 59, of Sanamar, committed a sexual battery upon a child 7 years of age. Following that initial incident, the same day, the victim accompanied Clifton to a local store. When Clifton left the local store, he drove to a secluded area and attempted a second sexual battery upon the 7-year-old. And she resisted his efforts, and he ended up taking her back home. Detectives initiated an investigation and were able to confirm a lot of what the victim said, and also discredited a lot of what the suspect said as far as his path of travel. We reviewed a substantial amount of video evidence, which was critical to the solving of the case. And Mr. Clifton was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Jail on charges of sexual battery and indecent behavior with a juvenile. And his bond is set at $450,000.
Wow, tough case there, and we rounded out with Michael Thomas Woods, which is the fourth incident we'll talk about this week.
Yes, Michael Thomas Woods was arrested on Friday afternoon. He's a 33-year-old male from Tarbert, Louisiana. At a time, he was residing in Assumption Parish. On Friday afternoon, deputies responded to a complaint of a female being held against her will. Upon arrival, deputies did confront Mr. Michael Thomas Woods and did speak to the complainant. And during the investigation, deputies learned that indeed Mr. Woods did stop the victim from contacting authorities, disabling all of her electronic means to do so. She was able at some point to lock herself up in her vehicle and was able to contact our office. Deputies were dispatched, and during the course of all of this, we did find out that Mr. Woods was in violation of a protective order filed by the victim, and he was arrested on scene, charged with battery of a dating partner, simple criminal damage to property, false imprisonment, violation of protective orders, and interfering with emergency communications. Michael Thomas Woods was released over the weekend after posting a bond of $65,000.
So a busy week in Assumption Parish. About 30 seconds to go, Lonnie, as we talk about it. So all of these will now await trial and see where their trial comes up, right?
Yes, we'll be submitting the files over to the DA's office, and they're going to bill them appropriately and see where that goes. Obviously, we are following up on the Sidney Clifton case to make sure there's no additional victims in related to that case. It's just kind of heart-wrenching, seven-year-old female.
Yeah, that's really, really tough to hear that. So good work by the deputies of Assumption Parish for getting those under control. So Lonnie, sure appreciate it. Lonnie Cavalier from the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, for having us.
Okay, we'll see you next time. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights.